The news arrived not with a thunderous announcement, nor with the chaos that so often accompanies political upheaval, but with a quiet, determined whisper, a signal that something momentous was unfolding beneath the surface. On December 10, 2025, María Corina Machado, Venezuela's Iron Lady and a symbol of resistance, left her homeland behind. For over a year, she had been a ghost in her own country, hunted by a regime that feared her voice and the hope she inspired. The government of Nicolás Maduro had made her a fugitive, plastering her name and face on wanted posters, turning her into a symbol of defiance. Yet she remained, a hidden flame refusing to be extinguished, her determination burning quietly in the darkness. Her departure was not surrender, but strategy, a move to take Venezuela's fight for freedom to the world stage, beginning in Oslo, where her voice could echo beyond borders. The journey itself remains a mystery, its details shrouded for her protection, a cloak of secrecy shielding her from those who wished her harm. Every step was fraught with peril. The regime's threats were clear: leave and be branded an enemy of the state, a traitor to be hunted even beyond Venezuela's borders. In an audio message released by the Nobel Committee, her voice was steady, unwavering. "I am on my way." It was a message of hope and of resolve. For her supporters, it was a moment of anxiety and relief. She was safe for now, and her journey had become their own. The woman who had faced down dictatorship and won a stolen election was now taking her cause global, determined to rally the world to Venezuela's plight. Her journey was not an escape, but a new way to fight for Venezuela from the outside, to amplify the struggle on an international stage. The risks were immense. The regime's history of persecuting opponents is brutal, and exile brings its own dangers and uncertainties. By leaving, she stepped out of Maduro's immediate grasp, but into a new kind of danger, one that demanded courage and vigilance at every turn. She was daring the world to pay attention, forcing the regime to confront a symbol it could no longer silence, and reminding everyone that the fight for Venezuela's future was far from over. Who is María Corina Machado? To many, she is more than just a politician. She is a symbol of hope and defiance in Venezuela's darkest hours. Once an engineer and mother, she became the conscience of a nation in despair, stepping forward when others were silenced by fear. She entered politics to restore law and democracy, her voice cutting through state propaganda and inspiring those who had lost faith. She co-founded Sumate, pushing for fair elections, earning the regime's early ire and becoming a beacon for electoral integrity. Elected to the National Assembly, her fearless criticism made her a target. She was assaulted, stripped of her seat, and banned from office, yet she refused to be silenced. Each attempt to silence her only hardened her resolve, fueling her determination to fight for her country's future. The fight was never just about politics, it was about Venezuela's soul, its dignity, and the right to dream of a better tomorrow. In 2024, she mounted a presidential campaign that united the opposition, bringing together fractured voices under a single cause. Her message, "Hasta el final, until the end," resonated with a nation desperate for change, echoing in the hearts of millions. She drew massive crowds, and the people voted for her in overwhelming numbers, defying intimidation and threats. But Maduro's regime ignored the results, declared victory, and unleashed repression, determined to crush the movement she inspired. Machado was forced into hiding, declared a criminal, her allies arrested, her party dismantled, and her supporters threatened. For over a year she moved from safe house to safe house, protected by loyal citizens who risked everything to keep her safe. Even in hiding, she communicated with her people, her voice a symbol of resistance and a lifeline for those who refused to give up. Her resilience became a rallying point for democracy, inspiring new generations to stand up for their rights. Machado's story is one of unbreakable resolve in the face of tyranny, a testament to the enduring power of hope and courage. In October 2025, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to María Corina Machado, marking a historic moment for Venezuela and the world. The committee honored her tireless work for democratic rights in Venezuela, recognizing her unwavering courage in the face of adversity and her relentless pursuit of justice. The prize was not just for her, but for every Venezuelan who marched for freedom, every political prisoner who endured hardship, and every citizen who dared to hope for change. It was a shield, elevating her from national leader to global icon, and sending a powerful message to those who seek to silence dissent. Machado acknowledged the prize's protection, knowing the dangers she faced, and expressed gratitude for the international solidarity that now surrounded her. The award placed a spotlight on the Maduro regime, making any move against her a global concern and raising the stakes for those in power. For her supporters, it was validation and hope, a sign that their struggle was seen and valued by the world. Across more than 80 cities, the diaspora celebrated, waving flags and chanting her name, their pride and longing for home echoing across continents. The Nobel Prize gave her cause renewed energy and global attention, inspiring new conversations about democracy and human rights. The committee's choice affirmed that peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice and democracy, and the courage to demand both. By honoring Machado, they highlighted the courage of nonviolent resistance and the power of peaceful protest in the face of oppression. Her commitment to peaceful change, even under threat, was at the heart of their decision, showing the world that true leadership is rooted in hope, not fear. The prize declared that fighting for free elections and dignity is true peacemaking, and that the dream of a just Venezuela lives on. Caracas reacted with predictable fury. The Maduro government dismissed the Nobel as a foreign attack, calling Machado a puppet of imperialists. State media launched a campaign to discredit her and the Nobel Committee. Attorney General Tarek William Saab reiterated charges against her, warning she'd be a fugitive if she left. The regime's threats were meant to intimidate and delegitimize her. But their anger revealed fear, their narrative slipping away. The crackdown on Machado's supporters intensified, with arrests and show trials. The regime's fury was not just rhetoric, it was backed by real danger for those left behind. Machado's Nobel Prize challenged their legitimacy, exposing them as an illegitimate dictatorship. Her global recognition isolated them further. Their angry denunciations were signs of weakness, not strength. The regime's desperation showed it feared losing its grip on power. Machado's departure marks a risky shift. She becomes a symbol in exile. Now she can advocate directly to world leaders, free from the threat of arrest. Her presence in Oslo is the first step in a new chapter, embodying Venezuela's democratic aspirations. Yet exile is perilous. Many leaders lose influence when separated from their homeland. The regime hopes her absence will weaken her connection to ordinary Venezuelans. Machado's challenge is to remain relevant and potent from abroad. Still, her journey has galvanized the opposition, seen as a strategic redeployment, not abandonment. She carries the flag of a nation held hostage, inspiring hope beyond Venezuela's borders. The Nobel Prize opens doors, giving her moral authority to demand action from democracies. Her effectiveness will depend on turning symbolic power into real pressure for change. Machado's exile is both a risk and a rallying cry. The journey to Oslo is more than accepting an award. It puts Venezuela's crisis on the global stage. Machado's arrival in Europe, as a Nobel laureate, forces the world to confront Maduro's dictatorship. Her voice now carries weight in the halls of power, demanding action, not just words. She can urge tougher sanctions and more humanitarian aid for suffering Venezuelans. The struggle between democracy and authoritarianism is a defining conflict of our time. Machado's story is a case study in this global battle. Her support for international action frames Venezuela's fight as part of a larger struggle for freedom. Her presence in Oslo is a direct challenge to Maduro's authority. The image of Machado celebrated on the world stage is a blow to the regime's prestige. Her journey transforms Venezuela's opposition into a global cause. The journey from Venezuela to Europe was an act of incredible bravery. Every mile was a risk. A single mistake could mean capture. The regime's security forces were on high alert, desperate to stop her escape. Her journey was a real-life thriller, a testament to the resistance's courage. Her arrival in Oslo was not just a flight, it was liberation. It showed the limits of the regime's power and the depth of her support. Her escape became a metaphor for Venezuela's struggle, a dangerous path toward freedom. The Nobel ceremony became a political event, with the world captivated by her story. Her presence in Oslo brought urgency and hope to the crisis. Machado's journey is a message. Even in darkness, there is a path forward. At its core, Machado's story is a message of hope. She faced a dictator, won an election, and refused to surrender. Her journey to Oslo is a new beginning, proof that conviction can ignite a nation's spirit. She embodies the hope that tyranny is not permanent. For millions in exile, she is their voice, and their reason to believe in return. Her Nobel Prize is their prize, her presence, their hope. Her story inspires activists everywhere, showing that nonviolent resistance can challenge authoritarianism. Her hope is not naive, it is a call to action, hasta el final, until the end. It is a commitment to persevere, to never give up on a free Venezuela. Through courage and unity, the long night of dictatorship can end. Venezuela's future remains unwritten, poised on a knife's edge. Machado's journey to Oslo has opened a new, unpredictable chapter. For the regime, her freedom is a grave threat. For Machado, it's a chance to build global pressure. She must maintain her connection with the people and unify the opposition. Her goal: create conditions for a free, fair election. The fate of the country depends on the resilience of the democratic movement and the resolve of the international community. The regime will not relinquish power easily, but Machado's global stature gives her leverage. She has shown that the fight for democracy is never lost while courage endures. Her journey is pivotal, but not the final act. With her voice on the world stage, hope for liberation, justice, and peace is renewed.